Today we continue with part 3 of our Athearn RTR GP50 DCC installation by prepping the LEDs and installing them in the headlight and the backup light right now. So we're going to be using 2 flat top LEDs and 2 1K ohm resistors. Also some heat shrink tubing in a small size and a larger size. Okay, so now we need to test our LED, but first we need to determine which side is positive and which side is negative. The positive side, or the anode, is the longer of the 2 leads. You can see right here, right there. And the cathode is the negative, or the shorter lead. Right there. So we're going to test these with our homemade tester to make sure they work. Our homemade battery tester is nothing but a simple 9-volt battery with a clip and a 1000 ohm 1K ohm resistor in the positive lead connected to a 2-pin connector. So now we're going to test our LED. We'll do this by sticking the anode in the connector that's connected to the red wire, and with the cathode connected to the and she works. So next we're going to prep our LEDs by adding the resistors and the wire. So for the front headlight, we're going to want to trim these leads a little shorter so that they don't interfere with the interior in the cab. We'll do this by using our sprue cutter and cutting them at an angle so that they retain their length, and so we can differentiate the positive from the negative. So there we have it. Next, we're going to prepare our resistors by shortening the leads. We're again going to do this with our sprue cutters. Keep them about 1/4 of an inch long. Sorry, I went off camera there a little bit. And there we have it. One 1K ohm resistor. You probably can't see that very well, so there we go. Right there. Now we'll trim up the other resistor and then we'll get back to you. So now we're going to tin the leads on our LEDs and resistors. To do this, we're going to apply electronics grade flux to each of the leads and then apply the solder. When dealing with the soldering of electronics, you should always use electronics grade flux and rosin core solder. Okay, so we're going to get a little solder on our soldering iron and touch it to each of the leads. Alright, let's get a close-up of this. As you can see, the LED leads have a nice even coating of solder on them. And they are now tinned. So now we're going to tin the leads on the other LED and also on the resistors, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now we got the leads on the resistors tinned and also leads on the LEDs tinned. We're going to solder the resistors to the short lead or the cathode of the LED, which is the negative lead. So we now have the resistor soldered to the cathode of the negative lead of the LED. So we're going to continue this for the second LED and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now we cut off a piece of heat shrink tubing long enough to cover the anode or the cathode and the resistor. So now we'll shrink that on and we'll get right back to you. Actually, we'll shrink that on and we'll do the other LED and resistor, and we'll get right back to you. Okay, so now we got the LEDs with the resistor soldered onto the cathode and heat shrinked over the entire lead and part of the resistor. We're going to solder our wires onto the LED leads. The blue wire will go on the cathode, or the positive side, which is the bare wire here, and the yellow will be soldered onto the resistor here for the backup light, and the white will be soldered onto the resistor here for the headlight. Okay, here we have two blue wires, 8 inches long, and a yellow and a white wire, each 7 inches long. So we'll strip and tin the ends, and then we'll be right back. When stripping the ends of the wire, you only want to strip off about 1/16 of an inch, and when you put the flex on and tin it, the insulation will melt away back to about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so now we've got our wires stripped and tinned. We're going to solder them on to the leads of the LEDs. Okay, so now we got our wires soldered onto the leads. We're going to slip the heat shrink over and shrink it down to protect the connection. Okay, so now we got the wires soldered on the leads and the shrink tube, heat shrink tubing around the joints to protect the connection. We're going to put a little shrink wrap around the sides of the LEDs so that they focus the light out the front of the LED and not to the side. Okay, so now we have our LEDs all ready to install. We ran out of time this week, so we'll install the LEDs in the locomotive shell next week, and we'll also complete the installation, put the shell back on, and give it a test run. So stay tuned next week as we complete the Athearn RTR GP50 DCC installation. And now it's time for the Featured Friday Channel of the Week. The Featured Friday Channel of the Week for this week is the Crooked River in Eastern. Host Dave Thurber has rail fan videos, layout running videos, and he also has how-to videos. He also has a beautiful layout, and he also has extremely detailed, beautiful looking scenes on his layout. I encourage you to go check out his channel, watch a couple videos, and if you like what you see, subscribe.